It's Talk Funny, a podcast by Mark Bailey and comics from all over. We ended up in Japan because apparently what happens in New York makes it onto the New York Times. The Talk Funny podcast from NagoyaRadio.com and Nagoya Comedy. Here's Mark Bailey.
Mark Bailey, Mike Miller on Talk Funny.
So recently I was just bringing it up with Mark because Mark has some background in, let's just say, like family court, different things like that. Not personally, but he knows of the
Not a
cases.
past, but a future.
Well, I'll let you do the talking on that. But I wanted to get your opinion because recently Japan passed a revision to kind of the divorce act or whatever that says that you can have joint custody. Now I've talked to a couple of divorced dads who said that this is just complete window dressing. It's never going to happen because ex-wives are going to come to the court and give all sorts of accusations.
I would say for foreigners,
what's your opinion about that?
Well, I don't know the details, but for foreigners, it might work for Japanese dads.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the law's for. But what does it say? It says that, does it specify foreign dads? Because they didn't used to.
No, it's for all dads. It's for all dads because in
Japan it's for all.
That's right.
Japanese dads.
We're all equal, Mark. Did you not know that?
It's all Japanese dads.
You didn't know that? Everyone's equal in Japan?
I've got a stutter. I've got a lifelong stutter. It's all Japanese dads. All dads, except for the ones that it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Just like
a little bit of cynicism in your voice there, Mark.
A little
That's
bit.
uncommon for you.
I was trying for a lot. So the vote is for everyone except for Mike and me.
Oh, do we pay taxes? I forgot.
So I think it won't change for foreigners because it's not unique to Japan, but like in Syria, it happens in Russia and Italy, wherever the mom is. Sometimes the dads, like in Syria, it's the dad.
Mm-hmm.
He can just take that kid
from
Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And Syria will not reciprocate with any law.
Mm-hmm.
That kid is Syrian.
Your friend had something going on with that? Was your friend...
Which one?
I don't know. You seem to know a lot about the law in Syria. What's going on?
I had a website called Divorce in Japan.
Oh, yes. That's true.
And I had a divorce lawyer. And he ended up getting divorced.
What?
Because he was really interested in divorce.
Wow.
And he got a degree out of it.
Interesting.
And now he's not in Japan, quote unquote. He's in Indonesia. That's
wow.
The story. Yeah, he divorced his wife.
So now he's running divorceindonesia.com?
Yeah, he divorced his wife and he got everything.
Wow.
So I was all ears. I didn't say anything. I'm just.
You're just like, tell me how you do it.
You're the
how
master.
you did it.
You're the master.
You're the master.
I'll be the new teacher, but
you're the deshi. You're the deshi. He's the senpai.
So he was a divorce lawyer, and we put that online, and we took stories from divorced dads, especially foreign guys. Mm-hmm. A lot of stories about how the courts. I know you can't identify with this. You probably can't even imagine this.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I don't know who's running. I don't know what nationality is running the courts, divorce courts in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Nepalese or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Italians, Gypsies.
Yeah, hard to say.
Definitely not Japanese. No, definitely not. And then you have a non-Japanese father that wants custody of the kid. And
why? Because he wants to abuse them, obviously, right?
Oh,
no. Treat them badly.
Selfish reason.
Yeah, gotta be.
Can't be because it's his blood, and he wants the kid to.
You mentioned blood. Well, now he's definitely not getting that kid.
And I don't know, Mike. It's just a coincidence in every case. But could you take a guess how many times the fathers got custody? The foreign fathers got custody.
Well, it's got to be half and half, right?
The wife.
Got to be half and half.
And the wife is Japanese, and the judge is Japanese,
and
the father is a foreigner.
Well, they don't.
Did I mention the judge is
Justice
Japanese?
is blind. They don't look at that kind of thing, right? Right, Mark?
So what percent do you think?
I'd say, it's got to be 50%, right?
I'd go down a bit.
A little bit.
I'd take away a couple of digits.
At 49%, perhaps.
I'd go one figure or less. It's actually three figures because it's 0.0.
Oh wow!
It's like 0.08.
Yeah.
I met one guy.
Wow.
In Nagoya.
I don't think I've ever even drank anything 0.08 before. I mean, it'd be like an eyedropper of beer.
And I meet one guy whose situation is different.
Mm-hmm.
No, mine was easy. Yeah, but your wife was in prison for heroin.
Oh wow!
Okay? Yeah, but
that'll help.
But it wasn't because I was a foreigner. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it wasn't because you were a foreigner. It was despite the fact you were a foreigner.
Yeah.
She was on heroin.
She was a true heroine.
Which you can't make jokes about, by the way, Mike.
What?
Stop needling me on my heroin jokes. I'm going. All right, no more heroin jokes. I'm going cold turkey.
I'm going to stop needling you about the heroin jokes. Okay.
I'm going cold turkey. Get this monkey off my back. about heroin jokes. So this callback. We had a TV tower meeting, and we were all drinking. And
what? That doesn't sound like us.
Yeah, it was one time.
You sure that was I was there? You sure it was there?
Time.
Okay.
And some Brit guy said to me, "You can joke about anything except one thing." And I said, "Well, I got to hear this. Try me, heroin." Have you ever met anybody on heroin? I said, no, but I'm sure they're great musicians. It makes your music amazing.
Especially jazz.
Heroin must be horrible because Lou Reed and John Lennon and Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin, they weren't good at music. So heroin must be amazing. And you can't quit it. Why? Because it's addictive. No, because it's amazing.
That's right.
And he got really pissed off and ended up saying F you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Which has never happened before,
No.
but hey.
Okay, so we have one about Mount Fuji.
Oh, yes. So in other news, Mount Fuji, apparently, this is a big thing in the news. There's this place in Fuji, near Mount Fuji, where apparently there's a lot of buses stop there. It's like a rest stop or something. And there just happens to be like a Lawson convenience store that's perfectly aligned with Mount Fuji. So all these people are cramming the sidewalks to take pictures of the Lawson convenience store with Mount Fuji in the background. So what did the municipality do you think? Did they widen the sidewalk?
Probably something good.
Did they make a park?
I think they probably had a really good
Maybe
plan.
made a viewing gallery for them?
I'm sure whatever happened, they were.
Yes,
right.
it was a great idea. No,
good.
actually, they put a fence, like a fence of kind of cloth. They put these poles in and made a fence out of cloth to block the view, so they could stop the tourists. So, what do you think the tourists did? They obviously went home. They never stopped taking pictures,
well, it's
right?
the cloth, you can't tear cloth.
No, you can't at all.
You can't burn.
So
cloth.
they tore a hole in the cloth and they started taking pictures of Mount Fuji again. I know.
They didn't obey the rules.
Yes.
These foreigners, these filthy
I know.
Listen,
the Chinese tourists were like, "Hey, man, you really shouldn't tear a hole in the cloth," and the other foreigners was like, "Yeah, screw it, we're going to tear holes in the cloth."
Well, the Chinese are like, "Hey, we really don't like walls or barriers." If you come from California, you're spending $8,000 to come for 2 weeks to Japan.
Oh no! I mean, it's more expensive getting here than it is when you're here. It's
Yeah.
dirt cheap now internationally.
To see Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
But today has a cloth around it. It's like. Okay.
I mean, you could at least climb it, so you could die up there, like those 3 people they found in the caldera. Yeah. Come on.
So,
Put a little effort in.
What's the reasoning? Is like, so Mount Fuji is sacred. You can't take pictures.
No, it's just that there were too many people on the sidewalk, and they were getting into traffic, basically.
You know what? Was it Family Mart?
Yeah, well, no, it was like a Lawson.
Okay. I would have an emergency meeting at Lawson's.
Mm-hmm.
We need another Lawson's. In the same street. What's the problem?
That's a great idea.
What's the problem? It's just a big
but
sign.
then they start plugging in their rice cookers and their water boilers into the Lawson, and they get arrested, or they start buying the wrong size of coffee so they can get an extra deal on the coffee.
But you know what? These because we want tourists. But if they drop a salad, they're going to prison.
That's right.
They go to prison. And if they say,
the law has spoken.
Nani shite hoshi, what do you want me to do? I'm willing to buy the salad. What did you say to me? Now I'm calling 2 police stations. Because I love my job, and I'm a Japanese mini-stop owner. Family Mart. Okay, we'll do a quick one. Get you out of here.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it, but we've never, ever done this on podcasts, because every podcast we do goes on to broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
We've never had a
That's
problem.
right. That's right. None of them go into the ether.
All right, so, my hobby is I sit here, I watch YouTube, I watch bad cop videos,
Mm-hmm.
I drink my tea,
Mm-hmm.
and I get pissed off more and more and more. All right, so there's cop speak. And these liars in the U.S., the cops, they pummel a guy to the ground. And they report to say, he was eventually decentralized to the ground. He was decentralized. You mean you threw him and pummeled him to the ground? You mean thrown and toppled and tackled to the ground? He lost his center of gravity. Did you have something to do with that, officer?
No.
How about the other 7 officers? You got enough cops? Here's my joke in Japan. You go at a construction site, and it's the size of 2 phone booths, and there's 18 Japanese construction guys there. What does that mean? It means 10 guys called in sick.
Yeah.
That's not enough people.
Sure, we need more.
How many flag guys do you need? All right. It's not a jail cell, Mike.
Yeah.
It's a receiving cell.
A receiving cell.
We will receive you to the floor. See how receiving this cold tile floor is.
Wonderful.
So they'll pull you over for talking on your cell phone while driving in the States or in Japan. It's like, okay, I noticed another cop car behind you. How did you contact him? In my walkie-talkie. A cell phone is actually just a radio. And what's a walkie-talkie? It's a radio. So you were doing what I was doing, but you have a friend that's also talking on the phone, but there's two of you cops and one of me. I think I see the picture. You don't
Just one more thing.
justice.
Just one more thing.
Just one more thing. How did you alert? Sorry. So Columbo, this is a callback to Columbo, Peter Falk, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, I understand. He was talking and driving. Terrible thing.
Talking and driving.
Terrible thing. He was talking on his cell phone and driving. It's very distracting. So, officer, how did you ask for backup? Did you have smoke signals or
flares?
Can they read Braille or
did you scream out your window?
Did you signal?
Yeah.
Do you speak sign language
Yeah.
No, I called him. You called him. And the guy that you pulled over, what was he doing? He was calling somebody. Oh, he was calling somebody. How did you catch up with him, by the way? You started to sound like Jiminy Glib. How did you catch up with him?
Yeah.
Well, he was speeding. Oh, he was going pretty fast, huh? How fast was he going? He was going 80 miles an hour. Wow, that's dangerous, isn't it, officer? How did you catch him? Well, I had to go 90. But that's not dangerous.
Not at all. Not at all.
What I'm trying to say is, F the police, especially Sting.
What about Stuart Copeland? You forgot about Stuart.
Stuart Copeland. Last cop speak. Whenever a suspect says, I'm going to call my lawyer, I want to call my lawyer, the cop will say, well, you could do that, but a lot of guilty people say that they want to call their lawyer. A lot of a-hole cops say that a lot of guilty people say they want to call their lawyer. You know who else says, I want to call my lawyer? Innocent people!
Yes. People outside of jail. People who are still outside of jail, they often say that, People who are in jail often don't say that for some reason.
So one last thing. We already did the thing about we're going to take a domesticated wolf, Mike, and we think you have pot in your car. We pulled you over with police officers. We're going to let a domesticated wolf walk around your car. We're going to let a wild animal, a formerly wild animal, walk around your car. And if he does anything that he doesn't usually do, which you could just ask me, does he usually do that? No, he never does that.
No.
But you don't know because you don't know that dog and you've never seen him before. But I'm telling you, he's acting weird, Mike.
Yeah.
He's acting weird. What did he do? He looked at me. Maybe he's hungry. He picked his front paw and he put it back down. Maybe he's wondering what the hell we're doing out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He alerted. How do you alert exactly? Well, he did things that he didn't usually do.
We also rolled over and licked his balls, which is very rare.
That's
a dead giveaway.
That means you probably have child porn. Right? So what I suggest is, okay, you can have a canine unit, but I think as citizens, we should also be able to just call up an Uber and go, just get an anti-canine unit.
Oh, I like
right?
this.
And then we'll call a dog. We'll say, that police alerted is racist. That police alerted is anti-Semitic.
I want my own dog, thank you.
My dog alerted. When this cop walked up, my dog...
But my dog's not reacting.
And when this Korean walked up, my dog ran away. Hello, Patreon. Mike Miller, Mark Bailey, Talk Funny.